You know, life has its ups and downs. Turn your pretty face to an ugly frown. Seems that when I fix one thing,
Hello, welcome to The Awakening. Today's story is going to be one that I know all of you want to listen to. You know, this is Angie, and you know when I do this show, I'm very honest, I'm very open. And I'm going to share today with you psychiatry. I always wanted to know what it was. It's a long word. Sometimes it's hard to say. Sometimes it's even hard to spell. But I found a wonderful, wonderful psychiatrist, a Dr. Cam, and she has come all the way from Laurel today to be with me. We're going to be talking about losses. We're going to talk about the signs that you're going to look for after you've already, you've lost a loved one, because I've lost two. And she's got so much in her eyes that I know she's going to be great. And I hope each and every one of you will listen, you will learn, and you will take something away from this show today, because it's going to be a hard show for me to do. But I bless all of you for watching, and I hope you watch the show today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show.
I am so thrilled that you're here.
Thank you.
I'm so thrilled. Tell me about you, the person.
Okay. As you know, I'm a psychiatrist, and you wanted to know how I got into it. I've always been interested in the story behind people, no matter where, even in my training in the basic medical education. It doesn't matter whether somebody came with diabetes or asthma. It's what is their story, because it's not just about a headache, a pain. It's about what is your life.
If something's happened to your life, isn't it?
Exactly. So when I had the opportunity after medical school.
Where did you go to medical school?
I went to medical school in my original country of Ghana.
I knew it. I knew it. Okay.
And I came here and I did my residency, psychiatry training at University of Maryland in Baltimore.
Okay.
Yeah. And since then, last year was my 20th year in private practice.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. And you have a beautiful daughter here with you. She's your only child?
She's my only daughter. I have, and she's the last one. I have two older sons.
Two older sons,
yeah.
Okay.
My daughter is my office manager, and
well, that's nice.
My editor, as you can see.
Do you pay her, I hope?
I think I'm fair.
Okay, you think you're fair. We'll leave it there. Okay, what does the word psychiatry really mean? So many people say, I'm loony, it's not normal for me to have to go there. And
a psychiatrist is a medical specialist.
Okay.
Just like other people specialize in the heart diseases, cardiologists. It means you've had your basic training in gone through medical school, you are an MD, a medical doctor first, and then you choose to specialize in diseases, brain diseases that affect mostly the emotions, the thinking, and cause different behavioral changes.
Can sadness make you very, very sick? Can sadness make you very, very sick, I should say?
Yes, sadness is a normal emotion, you know.
We all have.
We all have. Every human being should be able to feel sadness, happiness, worry, anger. But those normal emotions are proportional to the situation, and one feels that they're in control of them. So it's not the same thing as an illness. When sadness is involved in an illness, it's not just the emotion. One of the things that sometimes people are not aware of, and what makes people not taken seriously, is when we call it depression. Okay.
I know all about that. I know all about that.
That it's not just the sadness that causes such devastation, but it's what it does to our thinking.
And how does it make us think? Distorted?
It makes, yes, it makes us things more pessimistic than they are. So there is not, if one compares how they are hopeful, things become less hopeful. the decision making, because think about it, we use our thinking to make decisions about ourselves, to value ourselves, evaluate our situations, how others are, and if it is warped in a way where everything seems like gray to black, then it doesn't matter who says there's hope. You can feel it. You can see it.
Yes. But you just can't lie around, because when my son died, I did that. All I wanted to do was just stay in that bed. I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up. Because getting up, you have to think. And you have to do things. And when you're tired, you don't want to do things. But I've learned that if you get up one step at a time and walk and look out at the sunshine and see it's a sunny day, even if it's a rainy day, it's a good day. You're alive. You have another day here to see what you can do.
So what you are bringing up is how you coped with it.
I'm still coping with it, and I will be for a long time.
And being human, sometimes when you are sad or you have a loss or some major stress, initially you are sad, you don't feel like doing anything. It affects the body. That's the other thing, that physically you aching, your sleep is disturbed, your appetite. And what you are referring to is trying to cope with it, forcing yourself to do things, to see hopeful things, to see the light for people around. And it's very, very important. The support network, very important. People who can, show you up when you're down.
Yes.
But there are times when it goes on for so long that it's affecting us, that our productivity at work or school. You mentioned you've been able to come back and do your shows, even though it gets to a point where when one can't do that, then we need to know when to go for professional help. At that point, then we need help. Just like most people, when we cough in, we do what we can. There's a point where you know that this cough needs medical.
A cough drop or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, you need help.
Okay, and that's when we need to go seek help, whether it's with a primary care physician, which is where most people start with. That's when you get help.
But I want to interject in that. A primary physician, I'm not saying they're bad, but maybe that doctor has not walked down my walk. So when I come in with my problems, there's a prescription.
Okay. You're right in a way. It's not so much that a professional has to have walked down your walk before understanding, but they have to have had the adequate training and experience.
And how to deal with this.
To deal with it.
It's scary when you feel like that.
The other thing is, because most people are not aware, and we are doing, hopefully, more education programs like this. That it's not just about the sadness, but it's the sadness, the thinking, and the physical. Most people don't want to waste their doctor's time. So when they go to their primary care physician, they decide, oh, this is the doctor just for my physical problem, so I can't sleep, and they may get a sleep problem, a sleep medication. Okay, but one needs to know that all the changes, any doctor, any clinician who is evaluating you, need to know all the changes that are going on, both the emotional, which they can see, other people can see, your thoughts that they can't see, and the physical. It's important to lay it all out.
But don't you feel, though, that if you cannot take medication, you can deal with this better, or should people take medication?
Oh no! Again, just like other illnesses, everything is not medication. It's having extensive, comprehensive evaluation to see what is needed.
Right.
It's not same as, and I always like to compare with what people know, the what they call the physical illnesses. Okay, that if you go to your doctor, exactly.
If
you go to your doctor for headache, you don't always get medication. Okay, so it's not always about medication, because I've heard that's why some people are reluctant. They say, I don't want drug. And I say to them, no, go for evaluation. Ask the doctor or the counselor, what is my illness? What do you see? Ask to be explained to you. not just in the medical terms,
Right.
but in layman's terms, to understand the changes you are going through. And we know that initially, especially after stress or loss, counseling can be helpful.
Right.
You know, it's when it goes on for so long, then it can evolve into an illness.
Such as what?
Such as depression.
Heart disease, high blood pressure? Can it trigger all those kind of things off in our bodies?
Yes. Yes, we know that.
Yeah,
yeah,
I know that. I could. Yes.
It can.
Yes.
It can.
I've lost 36 pounds. Because I haven't been eating.
Exactly.
It's my problem. But I don't feel hungry, and I can't eat unless I'm hungry. So I've been living off of fruits like apples, oranges, bananas, you know, those little green things, kiwis. And I try to have a soy shake in the morning with a banana with whole milk. But I can go for days without wanting any big meal. I really can.
You know, our body is complex.
Right.
The brain determines a lot of things. To eat, you have to have appetite.
Yes. I'm so glad to hear you say that. Because I think I'm going nuts someday. My husband says it's all your fault. You're not eating.
You know, appetite is, you know,
I can't eat.
You lose interest. One of the things, one of the responses of our body to stress. You lose interest. It could be interest in food, interest in things that you used to enjoy. And that's why you're not eating. And what you're doing is trying to make yourself, you know, the nourishment to your body.
Yes.
And also that's why even when people are diagnosed with, say, depression. Okay.
I think every person has some sort of depression.
But okay, the word I wish would change some of our terminologies, because we use depression like, oh, today I'm depressed. That's not an illness. That's just being sad today.
Right.
And when we say depression as an illness, we are saying that these changes in emotions, either sadness, or sometimes people are not sad, but they tell you, I've lost interest in things that I used to enjoy.
Right.
That and changes in our thought pattern that I talked about, you know, not being able, your thinking is slow, you don't enjoy things as much as you used to do, you lose sexual interest, and then the physical changes.
Yes.
When they all have been going on for a period of time. For depression, we say almost every day for about 2 weeks. Most people have been going through that for a long time before they present. And not only that, it has to have affected you in a major way. And the ways it affects us, if you're in school, you're unable to focus and your grades are going down. On the job, you are not able to function as well. Nobody may know. You know that you're not functioning.
Sometimes people don't really want to talk. You know, if more people would come up to someone who's not up to par and say, what's wrong with you? Can I talk to you? Do you need to talk? It seems like so many people are afraid to do that. I'm not. I mean, I have a big mouth. I will go into Walmart, no lying, and I will see a gentleman, an older gentleman, and I'll walk up to him and I says, I think you need a hug. And I gave him a hug and he says, you're one of God's workers. I needed that. My wife just died 6 weeks ago, and this is the first close contact I've ever had with another woman. And he says, little girl, I love you for that.
Good, good. You know, what? Really, in all fairness, sometimes people want to help. They just don't know.
They don't know how.
They are uncomfortable. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to think. And since a lot of the effects, emotions, nobody can read other people's emotions. And when you put on your clothes and, you know, nobody may know that you are hurting. Okay. So what do you do? If you see someone who seems, especially somebody you know that they seem to be a little more withdrawn, go ahead and ask.
You know, God gave me that gift. I can look at someone and tell right away what's wrong. There's something wrong.
And ask. Is there, what are you going through? One of the other things that is very important that we find is that when people get to where depression has become an illness with the hopelessness, and most people will hold on to something, but at some point they become so disillusioned that thought of maybe I'm better off dead.